All right, let's go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. The cheapest way to get around by far is to walk. It's totally free. Get anywhere you need to go. You don't have to worry about the traffic so much. And some places you can't even find parking. So this is the way to go, and it's way better than driving in London. But if you're looking for some other options, there are other things you can do to get around. It won't cost you so much. Now, the thing around London that is really, I guess, the most expensive way to get around is to take a London taxi. Those black taxis you see everywhere. Maybe you want to ride in one just to say you've done it and to see what it's like, but you don't want to use that for an option to get around to all the places you want to go see while you're here. It gets really expensive really quick. So I just want to show you a few cheaper alternatives to that. Okay, a London bus. Now these things are £1.50 per ride. After you've made 3 rides, that's £4.50. It caps out for the whole day if you're using an Oyster card or a contactless credit card. So this is a pretty cheap way. But I want to show you something that's even cheaper than that if you do it right. And that would be, let me go up here and I'll show you. The Humble Bicycle. Now what you're looking at here are rental bikes, or as they say here in London, bikes for hire. And this particular brand is Santander, also called by Londoners the Boris bike. And these were nicknamed so because Boris Johnson was mayor of London when these things came about in the city. They're pretty good. These have a docking station. They have some other brands that you can unlock with your phone that you can just park them and pick them up anywhere along the sidewalk or whatever. But these have to be rented from and returned to these docking stations. Doesn't have to be the same one you got it from. You could be one across on the other side of the park or the other side of the city or whatever. But the trick with these things is to go over and get a code out of the kiosk, and I'll show you that in a second. Come over, type your code in, which I don't have a code, but I'll show you what that looks like. If you don't have a valid code, it looks like that. But if you have a valid code, it'll turn green, then you can pull the bike out and ride away. Now, to do this and come out as cheap as you can, you want to keep it out no longer than 30 minutes at a shot before putting it back in a docking station. Now, you can get it out again, but the 30-minute mark is the sweet spot. And I'll go over here and I'll show you the pricing scheme and you'll see what I'm talking about. So £2 will get you into the system. You'll see that on the top line there in blue. And then if you go over 30 minutes with the bike out, it starts charging you £2 for every 30 minutes. So, but if you turn it in before that, it's no extra charge. Here you can see it a little bit closer. But anyway, so if you have these bikes out no longer than 30 minutes at a shot before returning it, you'll never spend more than £2 for the entire 24-hour period. So that makes this the cheapest way, besides walking obviously, to get around London. So you could potentially do it for £2 for a 24-hour period. These things are great. If you're fit enough to ride a bicycle, you should give this a shot because it is a way to get around to parts of the city you wouldn't be able to otherwise. You can go through the park areas, you can get through small alleyways and whatnot, but it's a neat way to travel. And these bikes have lights on them, so if you're out and it starts to get dark, it's got tail lights and headlights, and it's easily seen by cars and pedestrians. All right, time to take a spin. So here we are from the Lancaster Gate area. Off to the right is Hyde Park, and this is the north side of Hyde Park. This is Bayswater Road. You'll notice a lot of the bike lanes in London are like this. We're separated off from traffic, and then there's some that aren't. So you got cars right beside you with no barrier in between. So something to keep in mind. It's a mixed bag. It looks like they're improving it all the time. I see new ones pop up where there wasn't one before. as time goes on. Hyde Park's one of my favorite spots to ride. Some good bike lanes here, and a lot of good stuff to see along the way. And if you want to rest for a bit, you can pull over and sit on a bench for a while. And if you're south of the River Thames, I would recommend Richmond Park. It's equally awesome, and it's much larger. And also, it's not as crowded either. It's away from the touristy areas, so you can go for long expanses and actually not see anybody. So if you want to ride around and check out the deer, go to Richmond Park. This is going in the direction, we're going south here. And, this is a really nice area where the bike lanes are separated from traffic. Around this time of day, I certainly see a lot of tourists using these bikes, but surprisingly, I see a lot of Londoners using these bikes as well. You'll see every morning and every afternoon around 4 to 5 p.m. Folks in nicely dressed suit and ties and stuff going to and from work. So it's a great way to get around, and for the price, you sure can't beat it for the distance you can cover. So to give you a little comparison on price, if I were to go from Paddington Station to around, let's say Vauxhall Station, which is on the opposite side of the River Thames, on this bike I could be there in 25 minutes, and it'll cost me £2 if if I get it in the rack before the 30-minute mark, which is easily done. If I take a taxi, that's going to be about 40 to 50 pounds, depending on how long you sit in traffic, because not only does the taxi charge you for distance, it charges you for the amount of time that you're sitting in that taxi. So if you get stuck, that meter is just ticking away while you're sitting, not even moving. Good thing about the bikes, you can really make some progress and get down the road in a reasonable amount of time. So something to consider. They have these all over the city and around all the parks and all the neat places to see. So just want to make a quick video about it and show one of the other options that not everybody knows about. So if you get out to London, enjoy yourself. Watch out for traffic and pedestrians. And enjoy the bikes. See ya.